Welcome to South Asia, a unique source, a channel of bringing South Asia in maps, icons, images and pictures. This is your host J. Reddy from North America, and please consider subscribing this South Asia in Maps channel so that valuable information will be spread to the audience. Today, the topic I will be presenting is Bombay Presidency. These are series of presentations I made about the Bombay Presidency. Today I will be particularly looking at Bombay Presidency, a bird's eye view. Bombay Presidency as a political unit. After this presentation, you will have a clear-cut idea. What is a Bombay City? What is Bombay City and urban area? Is a British establishment of a trading post and military center. Then what is Bombay Presidency? What is Bombay Province? What is Bombay State? And various versions of the truncated Bombay State. Bombay City Military Post, Bombay Presidency, Bombay Province, Bombay State, truncated versions of the Bombay State that existed in various forms from 1668 to 1960, when final denouement, dissolution or bifurcations, trifurcations came. Almost 300 years. This is the bird's eye view. We'll talk about the Portuguese dowry, the movement of the Western Presidency from Surat to Bombay, the governor Georg Oxenden during Shivaji's sack of Surat, why they moved from Surat to Bombay. Then the three major Maratha wars, 1774-75, 1803 Second Maratha War, Anglo-Maratha War, 1818 the Third Anglo-Maratha War. The Act of 1773, where Bombay Presidency was placed under Fort William, that is Fort William Calcutta Presidency or Bengal Presidency. It became subordinate like Madras Presidency. And the Bombay Presidency was acquired from the East India Company, became a crown colony as a part of crown. Then 1947 Partition and Independence, and 56th State Reorganization Commission, Fazl Ali Commission and State Reorganization Act. So this is overall the broad outlook of 300 years or more of the great political and territorial and historical changes that took place in that part of South Asia, Dakshinapada or Deccan or South India. This is how South India, south of Vindhyas and Satpuras looked in 1400s. North Bahmani Empire is an Islamic imperialism was firmly established in South India by the broke away Turkish rulers, first at Dawlatabad, then moved to Gulbarga, eventually to Bidar. This is Khandesh, Bahmani Empire and Vijayanagara Empire in 1400. Then 1707 April, when the prominent Mughal Emperor Alamgir or Aurangzeb passed away in Ahmednagar, that itself is Deccan, in the Desh territory of today's Maharastra state. The two prominent people, Aurangzeb and Shivaji, which played a very prominent role in the evolution of Bombay Presidency, The dissolution or collapse of Mughal Empire and rise of Maratha Empire. This is the peak of Maratha Empire at 1759, when Marathas reached Peshawar Valley near Fort Jamrat, south of Khyber Pass. They ruled from Pune in Desh territory of Deccan. After 2 years, that is at Battle of Panipat 3, in January 1761, they received a crushing defeat from Muslim allies at Panipat, a few kilometers north of Delhi. The Bombay Presidency started as a small island. Bombay itself at that time a group of islands. It's an archipelago, is a group of islands. It is south of a very big island called Surat. Today, after reclamation and all those things, water draining, you will see like a land contiguous territory of Bombay to Surat. But actually Bombay itself separated by small channel from Surat island, which itself separated from the mainland north Ullas Creek or Bassein Creek, and on the eastern side Thane Creek. In 1668 it looked like this. In roundabout a middle of after Third War, that is Anglo-Maratha War, it looked like this, and by 1853, after acquisition of Sindh district or Sindh province, which was amalgamated with the Bombay Presidency, it looked like this. From here, 1668, this is how it looked by 1843. Unlike Bengal Presidency and Madras Presidency, unlike Bengal Presidency and Madras Presidency, which are contiguous amalgamation of districts, whereas the Bombay Presidency was non-contiguous. That means we have a Kannada speaking, Konkani speaking, Marathi speaking, Gujarati speaking areas separated from Sindhi speaking territories in the north. It is a geographically discontiguous province, and it also contained or administered Aden, which is now part of Yemen in the Arabian Peninsula. Madras Presidency started like this 1668, and 1843, after acquisition of Sindh, it looked like this. And after partition independence in 1947, slowly lot of events happened. In 1936, from Bombay Presidency, Sindh was separated and designated as a Sindh province. In 1936-37, the name presidencies was dropped and they became provinces. So that is Bombay City and military post to Bombay Presidency for most of its career, and Bombay province by 1936. After partition independence and merger of lot of princely states in Kutch and Gujarat region and Deccan region, it was designated as a Bombay state. 1956, further linguistic reorganization of dominion of Bharat. It has undergone lot of changes. The Bombay state gained and lost a lot of territories and become a bilingual Bombay state with Marathi speaking southern region south of Daman-Ganga river and Gujarati speaking northern regions, districts north of Daman-Ganga. In 1960, May, final denouement, final dissolution of the Bombay state, truncated Bombay state happened, and there is no more Bombay state anymore, and it is bifurcated as a Gujarat and Maharastra. that is from 1668 to 1947, almost 300 years. The bird's eye view of Bombay Presidency. What happened when the Portuguese, that is Vasco da Gama and all those people, which as navigators plus invaders come proselytizers, came to Calicut, that is in Malabar region, today called Calicut or Kozhikode, north of Cochin, and eventually by 1500 they wrested the island of Goa from Bijapur Sultans, and by within 30 years or so they wrested the Daman and Dayu and island of Bombay from, at that time the ruler, the territories belonged to Muzaffarid dynasty of Gujarat Sultans, by killing Bahadur Shah. Bahadur Shah, the ruler of Gujarat Sultanate. And Bombay was almost the neglected region of Portuguese Indian Empire, and they have their main headquarters at Goa. And the British established East India Company first at Surat. It is called Western Presidency. That happened in 1618. Interestingly, that is the year when Alamgir, that is Aurangzeb, was born. Also interestingly, in Bombay Presidency area, at that time it's called Dohad. Now it is called Godhra district or Panchmal district, that is Godhra district or Panchmal district, in this eastern part of Gujarat, adjoining Udaipur, Banswara, Dungarpur districts of Rajasthan. That was in 1618. East India, the Britishers established their military and trading post in Surat. They called it Western Presidency. What happened in 1661 was when Portuguese Princess Catherine was married to Charles, the monarch of England of United Kingdom. Portuguese gave the Bombay island as a dowry. That was in 1661, when Shivaji was also starting his major military career, that is the rise of Maratha Empire in Deccan. The rise of Maratha Empire and rise of the British Indian Empire almost started the similar time, 1661. And the British monarch didn't find much use in Bombay, a far off place. They gave it to East India Company for a small nominal money. That was in 1668. Bombay Island, group of islands, that is archipelago, Bombay, Mahim, Pearl, Colaba and so on. There are nearly half a dozen islands. Bombay was the most prominent. They were given to East India Company in 1668. When the East India Company Bahadur was headquartered on the Western Presidency at Surat, 1664, Shivaji led a major expedition and sacked Surat. British Trading Post Governor Georg Oxenden gave a major resistance and saved his resources and properties from Shivaji. So they found constant threat of Maratha invasion. They moved their Western Presidency to Bombay in 1668, and Western Presidency started to be called as a Bombay Presidency. So 1668 is the birth of or genesis of Bombay Presidency, where they moved Western Presidency from Surat on the bank of river Tapati to Bombay, which is a natural harbor and a small island separated by water from the main other bigger island Salsette, which is separated from by the Thane Creek and Basen Creek or Vasai Creek or Ullas River Creek all sides. So it gives a natural protection. What happened in 1753 when the British power rose in Sarkars and Calcutta, and 1753 Madras Presidency and Bombay Presidencies became subordinate to Bengal Presidency, where future Governor General reside at Fort William. That is subordination. Some territorial acquisition occurred in the first war. First Maratha War occurred, and the end was Treaty of Salwa between the Marathas and East India Company Bahadur, where Salsette Island was given. It's called Treaty of Salwa. That was a minor acquisition. British were waiting curiously as Maratha Confederacy plunged into serious crisis after the death of its prominent leader Mahaji Scindia, Ahilyabai Holkar, Tukojirao Scindia, and finally Nana Fadnis in 1801. The incompetent Peshwa Baji Rao II made a treaty with British called Treaty of Basen in 1803 December, and second Anglo-Maratha War started. After the war, the Marathas won major victories. The district of Baraj and district of Kera, that is the Charotar Plains, Anand, Nadiad, Petlad and so on, south of Sabarmati River, that is Kera district. North of Sabarmati River is Karnataka district or Ahmedabad district were given. Finally, the Peshwa Bajirao II tried to wriggle himself out of British control, but he failed. When he failed, he was dethroned and pensioned off and sent to Bithur near Kanpur on the bank of river Ganga in the United Provinces of Uttar Pradesh, UP. He gave them lot of territory. He gave them Konkan territory, Desh territory, that is the Pune, Satara and Ahmednagar, Sholapur and Baglan, Nasik, Khandesh, that is Dulia and Jalgan, and Canary speaking Bijapur, that is Vijayapura, and Belgaum and Dharwad regions. So major territorial acquisitions came in 1818, and 1839 Aden was annexed to the Bombay Presidency. It was located in Arabian Peninsula, now in Yemen. It's called Aden Gulf at the entrance to Red Sea. A few years later, in 1843, there is a typo here, 1843, Napier, British general, conquered Sindh. Sindh was annexed to Bombay Presidency. That's how after 1843, this is how the presidency looked like, almost. Sindh, Gujarati speaking areas, and Konkan, Khandesh and Desh, and Canary speaking district in the south. In few years later, 1853, Sindhia gave Panchmahal district. This is the Panchmahal district, that is also called Godra region, or Panchmahals and Godra, Dehod and those areas. And in a few years later, 1862, from Madras Presidency, the Kanara region has two districts. North Kanara, that is Karwar and Bhatkal. South Kanara, that is Mangalore, Udupi and Kasaragod. North Kanara district was detached from Madras Presidency, given to Bombay Presidency. So, by 1862, the Bombay Presidency solidified. It has a northern Sindhi-speaking areas, and here northern Gujarati-speaking areas, central Konkani and Marathi-speaking districts, and southern Canary-speaking districts. That means it happened in 1862, and almost for nearly 90 years it remained as it is, and we are not talking about Aden region here, that is administered from Bombay Presidency. After 1947 partition come independence, all the princely states, there were a lot of princely states in this region, they are called small states. Major state was Baroda, ruled by Gaikwad, is one of the confederates of Maratha Empire at that time, who came under British protection. That means he accepted the British suzerainty over him. And there are hundreds of small states. These are called Gujarat States Agency. There is the Residency is a bigger state, Baroda, and agency is an amalgamation of smaller state. Is the West Indian States Agency, and a lot of princely states here called Deccan States Agency. Deccan States Agency like Bor, Fulton, Janjira, and Akkalkot, and Jamkhandi, Ramdurg, Savantwadi near Goa, all these, they were made by 1947-48. So we saw a bigger unified Bombay state. Remember, Bombay Presidency name dropped by 1936-37. Presidency became a province. The province after partition independence became state. Now we have Bombay state. With Saurashtra merged eventually, and Kutch merged eventually. All the Gujarat West Indian States Agency constituents merged. Deccan States Agency constituencies merged. In 1956, States Reorganization Committee, also called Fazl Ali Committee, recommended the reorganization of India on linguistic basis. State Reorganization Act was passed in the Parliament, and major territorial gains and losses occurred that I will discuss later. The most important thing is Bombay state acquired Marathwada region from Asafia Nizami princely state, and also Vidarbha districts and Berar district from central province or Madhya Bharat, administered at that time from Nagpur. It acquired Marathi-speaking Marathwada region and Marathi-speaking central provinces districts of Vidarbha and Berar. It has shed 4 Canary-speaking districts in the south, North Karwar and Dharwar, and Belgavi and Vijapura, that is Bijapur. So essentially by 1956 it was Bibhasha Bombay state, bilingual Bombay state, south of Daman Ganga river near the Union Territory of Daman, Marathi speaking, north of Daman Ganga river Gujarati speaking. That was in 1956. Within 4 years, after agitation for Gujarati speaking province or Gujarati speaking area and Marathi speaking area in both areas, 60 May, it was finally bifurcated into Maharastra and called Gujarat. So Bombay Presidency started in 1668, and by 1960, that is almost 290 years or 300 years nearly, it looked with Bombay headquarters a Maharashtra state a residuary, that is a leftover. So, in a sense, we talked about the journey of Bombay Presidency from 1668 as a small military trading post of British East India Company to a major political geographical amalgamation with Sindh, Aden and Gujarat, Konkan, Desh, Khandesh and Canary speaking districts by 1862. From 1862 to 1960, when the final denouement came, we saw the separation of Sindh in 1936 and loss and gain of Dvibhasha Bombay state with Gujarati speaking and Marathi and Konkani speaking. In 1956, the final denouement dissolution occurred in 1960 May 1st with Marathi speaking districts designated as Maharastra with Bombay as headquarters and Gujarati speaking districts with Karnavati or Ahmedabad headquarters. Friends, that is about nearly 300 years of Bombay Presidency. This is how the Bharat looked in 1400 and this is how in 1960 Dakshina Path or Deccan looked like. This is the first presentation I made as a part of Bombay Presidency. In future, I will be talking about what are the various divisions and districts of Bombay Presidency. Then we will spend one unique presentation, single presentation as from island into major territorial amalgamation acquisition, that is the genesis, growth, consolidation of Bombay Presidency. Finally, we will also look at the demise, dissolution of Bombay Presidency. We will also look at various linguistic groups of Bombay Presidency. What are the various topographical features of Bombay Presidency in one presentation that touched Balochistan, Punjab, Saraiki, Landa and Bagri, Rajasthani, Marwari, Bili. So speaking areas adjoined the Bombay Presidency, which is very unique in British India as a non-discontiguous presidency, whereas most of the presidencies or provinces are almost all are contiguous. So, thank you very much. In this presentation, we discussed about the Bombay Presidency, a bird's eye view. This is J. Reddy, your host of South Asia in maps, icons, images, pictures. Thank you very much. Please consider subscribing this channel and your compliments, comments, criticisms are very welcome. Dhanyavad.